my Waterpik was on. I set it too high. Did you hang up again?
I didn't hang up. No, we're recording now. 27th of March. And boy, oh boy, are we riding that surfboard today. Holy
I'll
son
tell
of a
you, I've got 7 pages of notes, but something happened just moments ago I had to share with you.
Please do.
I had my Waterpik set a little too high, and it jumped out of my hand. I lost control, and it sprayed all over the place. The good news is I don't need a shower.
Good for you.
Yeah,
now, you don't...
I've got crest in the strangest places.
I was going to say, you don't use the Waterpik on your mouth most of the time anyway, do you?
But I feel fresh.
Chances are... No, the doors. No, give me 5 minutes, please.
And if you'd never have to shave again, I would believe in heaven.
Oh, yes?
Yeah. My legs are just red, raw, not to mention my pelvic area.
And all the little pieces of toilet paper stuck to your legs. Yeah. There is.
But
that's
boy,
it.
I can get away with a short dress.
We're here all week. Good night. God. Okay. I got stuff. Have you got stuff? I got a whole lot of stuff.
Good. Go for it.
Okay. Let me just get some sharing. And I have a bit of a rant. I'll try to get through it as quickly as I can. I'm going to cover off on a few things.
All right.
Regarding customer service. We talked about this a couple of days ago. Visited an Esso station on the West Island a couple of days ago and was barred from using the restroom. Now, that may sound funny. It was not funny at the time. I contacted ExxonMobil to ask them if it were the case, if it was the case indeed, as the person at the station let me believe that this was a company-wide edict. It is not. Heard from ExxonMobil this morning at 5 o'clock. Sent me an email. I haven't exchanged much in the way of emails with them yet. But I'm not pleased to see that there's nothing on their website to indicate what they're doing with this whole COVID-19 thing. So
it's not a company policy. It seems to be individual.
They seem to be quite confused. And this is the communications is what I'm kind of pitching on right now. And my goodness, if you think that brand loyalty is not indelible at a time like this, you are whistling Dixie. You are in for trouble. And you have to do what a buddy of mine named Harry Wakefield, whom I'll talk about in a few minutes, mentioned to me. And I use this phrase. I have been using it for decades. Hand holding is what it's about. And yes, you are there to protect your employees, but you are also there to protect your clients. And when it gets back to what necessities are these days, when it comes to truck drivers and delivery drivers, they need access to washrooms. So you should be proactive in that area. So thumbs down.
We are part of the public.
We are.
We are not just a company. We are the public. That's are right. You.
Yep. So think of that. This is the time to think about that now. Okay. Fatima.
Because they're barring. Are they still barring truck drivers who need that?
I don't know that
essential service.
I don't know that ExxonMobil has a policy in that respect at all, but they should be making this clear now. I contacted them about this. That should be all laid out somewhere on their website to say, please, if you are such and such, or if you hear of such and such a policy, get in touch with us. It is not our policy. Yes, it's delicate because you have to protect your staff as well as the clients, but be proactive at this time. And if to the best of your ability, put some measures in place, put something in place to protect one and all for what is an essential service here. ExxonMobil, for God's sake, the largest oil company on the planet practically, get on with it. Now, Fatima Petit is another one, Shoppers Drug Mart, owned by Loblaws. I contacted them about price gouging a few days ago. I got some boilerplate back. Again, it's not the fault of the person who's writing the email in Etobicoke or somewhere, but don't blame the client when the client sees something like this. And I won't take the trouble of reading the entire email, but maybe it's a mistake you made about seeing a price tag. No, it's not a mistake I made. And it's not the client's fault. Wake the hell up. Again, brand loyalty is extremely important and never, ever, ever more important than it is now. And yes, you will get kicked in the ass down the line if you don't do something right. Again, I'm just about done here. Sorry. We were talking about Italian food stores a couple of days ago. Here's one in Toronto that my parents have been shopping at for decades. It's called Pusateri's. They were tagged this week for selling Lysol little wipies there for $29.99 a container.
That's war profiteering.
You know who brought this up? Our buddy Dougie here. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario. I've never been a big fan of Mr. Ford, but he came out on a rant on this. And now Queen's Park is going to pass legislation, we are told, to stop this kind of business. Now, this kind of shit will happen. Pusateri's on the 26th of March posted this a message to the effect that it was a pricing error. Bullshit. It's not a pricing error. On the 27th of March, which is today, they came back and said, an oversight that we are owning 100%. Yeah, a day late and $1 short. Now, they praised their employees for rising to the challenge during this challenging time. Absolutely. They deserve credit. And then they say that should have been the headline. Well, yeah, but you're a day late. So this is not how it works. And I assure you that clients out there, once this whole thing blows over, will have a very indelibly inked memory of how you run your business.
It is amazing how businesses don't learn until the shit hits the fan. Sorry, in using that as an analogy with a food mart, but they don't get it until the shit hits the fan. And then often the next time it comes around, they haven't got it the first time.
All right, exactly.
I would just, if I'll let you go on in a second, but I would like to do a good news corporate story. Bauer Skates, been making skates for years and years, have stopped making skates and are making medical masks.
Yes, at their plants
good for
Quebec
you, Bauer.
And Ontario and elsewhere too, so good for you, Bauer. Okay, rant over. Interesting little story came out this week about Walmart in the States. Their clothing department, they're selling more tops than they are bottoms. In other words, they're selling more shirts and sweaters and blazers than they are pants. And then somebody has figured out that this is because people are doing what you and I are doing for business purposes. They're doing more and more video conferencing and teleworking via video. So they'll wear an old pair of sweatpants under the desk and they will wear a nice shirt and blazer on top. Isn't that interesting? And that brought back memories of something that you may have seen. This goes back many, many years. That's George Athens in the background there laughing. And this is a live television on Newswatch. This has got to be 30 years ago.
You're wearing fishing gaiters.
And somebody sent me a letter saying, I'd like to find out what you're wearing under the anchor desk. And we made a joke out of it, of course. And I was wearing these fishing boots underneath. And God bless her, Sarita Ellman was directing that night. God bless Sarita. She was top of the line director and she worked it all out. And this was so much fun. And people still talk to me about this thing to this day.
Oh, yeah, that and the cutlery with Tom. And of course, Athens is not wearing anything.
That's right. Athens is actually no pants, no underwear under that desk, strangely enough. No, we used to joke because in the summer I used to come in with gym shorts or whatever it is, or cutoffs underneath, and have a nice shirt and tie and blazer at the top. So the person who wrote the letter was quite right at the time, and I admit it after all these years. So
Stan Gibbons did it for years. Stan was an avid jogger and would show up with a beautiful Bill Davis blue suit with a white shirt and tie.
That's right. Stainless
and a pair of ratty old jogging shorts.
Yeah, Stan Gibbons.
It got hot in those studios.
I haven't seen Stan in ages. A tip of the hat to a buddy of mine by the name of Harry Wakefield. We're making some changes here. We're on Twitter now. We're adding other things. We have a dedicated Facebook page. You'll be seeing these changes in the coming days.
Harry and Twitter.
We are on Twitter. I'll send you all the details. Harry and I go back about 30 years. I was thinking about that today. We met. I was shooting a video for Air Canada. They were rejigging a 747 at the time, rearranging the seats in this thing because they were starting a new route, I think, to Singapore. This is a very, very long time ago. And we were in Dorval, and I remember this very clearly. They had a 747 up on jacks. They had hoisted the entire plane off the floor. The wheels were off the floor. It was quite something to see. and it was empty inside except for a couple of seats they'd set aside to shoot this video. And I was among those who it was, how shall I say, you've seen these
emojis. What are you doing?
What am I? Are you seeing my screen, or what are you see? Are you seeing yourself?
No, I'm seeing me.
Are you seeing you? Okay.
Yeah.
Just a sec. I'm going to stop sharing. Are you seeing me now? Okay.
Yeah,
So you've seen the videos on the promo videos on the planes where they have the guys and kind of sort of relaxing in their seat.
Yes.
That was me. I was shooting that
one
of those videos. This is a long, long time ago, and I was sitting next to a young woman, and we were looking at each other adoringly and sort of relaxing in the seat. And this is where I met Harry. And Harry is he's an expert in social media. He works in all kinds of communications systems now. He's a teleworker like I am. Brilliant guy. And he contacted me yesterday. We had a nice chat, and he's out there doing a lot of work for us for the podcast. So a tip of the hat to Harry. Thank you very much, Harry. And
we're going to make millions out of this, aren't we? We are going to make more than Loblaws.
That's right. Just when people have no money. Also,
well, hi, Harry.
Also,
Harry was dressed as the woman, right? So Harry was dressed as the woman next to you.
You'll recognize this face.
Oh, there's Eramelinda.
And I didn't know this. I read this today. Veteran Montreal broadcaster Eramelinda Boquer to receive Actra Woman of the Year award.
Well, congratulations.
This was last year. A year ago.
Yeah.
So
and
I didn't.
CJAD Candor.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. I contacted Era this morning. She'll be on with us this weekend, either tomorrow or Sunday. So
Excellent.
We're going to do. We have not had a three-way with Era in some time.
No.
So that's what we're going to do.
She's just as cute as a button and funny as all get out, and she'll say anything.
If there were an expression, what is it? 100 pounds of dynamite in a 50-pound bag. That's Era.
Yeah, she's set to go off on a really dry day.
I will let her tell her own stories. So there you go. That's what I've got today so far. Okay. I've got other stuff too, but I'll cover it later. Continue.
Okay. Don't get too upset.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you okay?
I'm also fine. I'm filling out my income tax today.
You don't need to do it until June.
I know, but responsible people like me are going to get it in on time.
You're responsible?
I am.
No, you're angry.
I owe money.
But you're not necessarily responsible. I'm happy.
As a travailleur autonome, I collect a GST PST. So I have to send that money in, and I will. It's a spit in the ocean, but
are they not putting that back as well for
they've extended deadlines.
You're a small business.
They've extended deadlines, and if you have to take advantage of those deadlines, of course, by all means. But I don't have to, so I'm going to do the responsible thing and at least try to put a couple of shekels back into the system. So that's what I'm working on this weekend.
You said you'd send me money.
No.
I need some Lysol wipes.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
All right, please continue.
Okay, so bring in. I thought. Let's bring in the outdoor Christmas decorations. It's almost April. Mm-hmm. The place is starting to look like a Sunoco station rather than a handsome suburban home.
Sunoco was where I'm going to go next time. I'm not going to go to Esso.
Yeah, but I never let you use my bathroom. What, you think I'm crazy? But bringing in the outdoor Christmas decorations, I have decided for the common weal not to do that.
I see.
I don't feel like it.
Okay.
No, I thought bright colors. You know how I like bright colors?
Yes.
Red and green and fuchsia.
So you stand there.
I'm leaving out the Christmas lights.
So you stand there with a drink at night and just kind of play with the switch a little bit.
Well, people are doing that at night now.
Here comes a car. I could just see that. Yeah.
A guy on a bike walking his dog. Yeah. So no, I thought it makes people happy.
Yes.
People have stopped and looked. They haven't smiled yet, but they've stopped and pointed at the house.
Well, my spouse got one of those rainbow. You've seen the little rainbow.
Yes, great symbol.
symbol. So that's hanging from our doorway here.
In the window. Yeah,
Yes.
people are put there was a story, I can't remember whether it was here in the States. I think it's happened more than once. Parents put their youngster in the car and they drove around the neighborhood. They couldn't have a party for him. It was something like his fifth or sixth birthday. And people had put out, happy birthday, Harry, or whatever, all the best, little cakes with candles on it, painted up on all the windows. So he got himself a virtual birthday party. I think that's kind of a sweet story. Boris Johnson has tested positive for Corona-19, as has his health secretary.
That's right. Yes. It's just, it's too,
Matt Hancock.
It's too ironic to even talk about.
Bloody-minded Boris. Okay, that's my rant. For 10 minutes, starting Sunday at noon, churches in the Archdiocese of Montreal, the Archbishop is the well-named Christian Le Pen, has said we're gonna ring all the bells in Roman Catholic Montreal for 10 minutes this Sunday and each Sunday right through until Easter. I think that's a great gesture.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. Ringing bells? Why not? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you'd be out with a shotgun, right?
It's annoying. It's just annoying.
I knew you'd bring the light touch to this today.
Yeah. No, don't do that. No.
Okay. Shut up.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll. You know what? I'm going to write the Archdiocese and tell them.
Would you please?
Because you haven't been to church since 1961.
That's right. Yeah. Fuck you. Strong letter to follow.
Gee whiz, that was my feel-good story.
That's okay. Well, thank you.
What else?
I'm not. That's just an expression. I'm not aiming that at the Archdiocese of Montreal.
No, I think anyway. I like it. And Richard Reeves, great journalist, great biographer of presidents, wrote about Reagan and Nixon and Kennedy, and was a wonderful reporter for the New York Times and various other news outlets. Richard Reeves has died at the age of 83. If you see a picture of him, I'm going to start being able to share eventually. I think I might get it right. If you see a picture of Richard Reeves, you will recognize him immediately. A wonderful writer, a wonderful journalist. It is a loss.
Okay. So there you are for this Friday. Yeah. Tomorrow, gum disease. Gum disease tomorrow.
Yeah, we're keeping this light and politics free, and you're just going to be yelling a lot. Right? Is Eramelinda on tomorrow?
Got a whole ream of notes on gum disease.
The crossouts and the erasures, that. And then this guy over here, you know what he said to me? He said, "Thank you." That lifeless piece of plop.
That reminds me, what I've been doing. You know how much of a cur I am.
You've been doing.
I send little thank you notes. I sent a little note to City Hall here because they're holding the fort and doing a good job of communicating with the client, the citizen. A little note, and they were so pleased. They replied in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much. We're a skeleton crew here. We're still managing to keep the water running and picking up the trash. And I sent a little note to a little store we do business with and everything else. People need a little pat in the ass. Yeah. So take the time.
Our town hall is keeping us informed. They have pushed back their taxes at least a month and a half.
Yeah, they're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to do one thing for me.
What?
I want you to smile. Attaboy.
Okay.
No you and Harry Wakefield dressed up as a woman in a flight to Singapore. It's got a kind of Bob Hope, Bing Crosby ring.
Actually, in the right light, Harry looks quite attractive. I could see him. I could see him. I could see he's falling off his chair right now. But Harry's
listen, speaking of that, you got to bring up the tape. I don't know if you still have it on Grump Pod. I'm not sure if you put all your stuff in, but the one where you got dressed up in that ball gown, the gold ball gown, and went to what? Something in Lachine, I believe.
That's a whole other story. That's on YouTube.
It looked excellent. I fell in love that night.
I will, thank you. I will add that to our list of things to be discussed in the coming days, but that's still out in the ether somewhere. So, all right, tomorrow, Eramelinda, or perhaps Sunday, but over the weekend we'll have her on, and gum disease. And
I'm sure Eramelinda's thrilled. You know,
And
I'm a headliner with gum disease.
And I'd like you to tape your next encounter with your Waterpik. I'd like to see that on
Would you
video.
like-
Yeah.
Okay, I got to get extensions then.
That's with a black bar on your face.
Lady of Spain, I adore you.
Okay, that's enough for today.